Hello and welcome. My name is Andy Crook and I'm your host for tonight's training on the marketing paradox. So what is the marketing paradox, first of all? Well, there are many marketing paradoxes, but the two I'm going to focus on tonight, and then the three questions I'm going to ask you about your marketing, are these. So the first one is, it's never been easier to be able to reach your customers. But the paradox of that is, so can everybody else. Now, the more commonly sort of used paradox of sort of modern marketing is differentiation against amplification, which is the sort of fancy marketing terms that they use. And differentiation is generally considered to be the longevity of your brand or your product. And amplification is the speed at which you can get people to recognize or to know, like, and trust you. So there is a constant challenge, if you like, in marketing between that differentiation and the amplification of whatever it is you're trying to market. And you need to strike some sort of balance. And that is obviously a paradox, because you can't continuously be using the amplification methods, which we'll go through in a second, against the differentiation methods, because it just doesn't work. And there is a balance to be struck. It's the same when you consider, right, nowadays, marketing's a little bit more complicated than it used to be for garages. And I've said it in just about every marketing training session that I've done. And it's that garages are particularly poor at marketing. Independent garages as a sector, the independent garage sector within the automotive game, are incredibly poor at marketing. And I've given many examples, and I've talked about it in all the other marketing videos. So I'm not going to go through that today, but I want to ask you, and these are the three questions that I put in the subject line, is: does your marketing differentiate your business? Does your marketing do enough to stop people scrolling past when they're on social media? And does your marketing produce repeatable results? If you've answered no to any of those things, then you probably need to listen in. If you've answered yes to a few, then you probably still need to listen in, but you're doing a pretty good job, because, as I've said, we're not very good at it as a sector. And the great news with that is, if you just up your game a little bit, you start to differentiate, because you start to stand out from the crowd, which is exactly what differentiation is. So we want to sort of look at a couple of things tonight. And one of the things that I put, and if you're watching the video, you can go back, I think, to the post and have a look at it. I put up something called the Marketing Circle, which was something that came up by a gentleman called Seth Godin, who is kind of seen as a serious marketing guru. And any of his books are well worth reading. And this Marketing Circle is the thing that I use when I want to try and explain to someone what's the difference between marketing and advertising. Because when I speak to people who are not marketeers, if you like, and people who've never done any marketing within their business, is they think marketing is simply the advert, the ad, whatever it is, on whatever medium they're going to use to place that ad. That's it. You put your ad out there, that's your marketing done. I wish it was that simple. Now, as I said at the very beginning, a few years ago, it was that simple. You kind of, put your ad in the yellow pages, you did maybe an ad in the local rag, and that was pretty much it. Because you didn't have all the options that you have now. But all these options now mean that it's dead easy to target your ideal customer. But it also means your competitors can, which is why we need to differentiate, which is where this paradox keeps coming back in between amplification and differentiation. And that's the first thing. If you don't know what I mean by differentiation, is do you stand out from the rest? That will someone know you're doing that piece of marketing? Will they know from the marketing effort to go to your business, what your business stands for and how you're different from everybody else? Because remember, to your public, to your potential customers, these are new customers, people who've never used your business before, one garage is pretty much like another. Yeah. So if you're at a different price point or you're trying to attract a different type of customer, how are you going to do that? If your marketing looks the same as everybody else's, which is, in fairness, and I'm not being critical here, this is just a fact. That's how it looks to me when I look at examples of the independent garage sector's marketing. They all look very similar. And I said it many times, we tend to do a list of our services, put an ad out and say, hopefully we'll get some customers. It's not the way to do it. So Seth Godin, in his marketing circle, he basically had an outer circle, and each ring and each circle bringing into the center is what he calls the marketing circles. And he's got, depending on who draws it, 4 or 5 circles in his marketing, the circles of marketing. And Seth Godin basically suggests, and I think it's very, very right when he said this, is most of us consider marketing to be advertising, which is the very outer circle, which he calls the campaign. So basically, what I'm going to suggest now, if you look at the post I put up earlier, or if you find when I put it up, the guide with this, and there'll be a transcript and a PDF, and I'll include my version of that marketing circle within that paperwork. So if you're looking for it, if you listen to the podcast, you're going to probably have to join the Garage Owners Network Facebook group to find that, or if you message me, I'll send you the PDF once it's been written. It's well worth looking at if you haven't seen it before, or go and find a PDF of Seth Godin's marketing circle. You'll find it out there. What he basically suggests is, and this is a brilliant piece of advice, is if your marketing isn't working, move in one circle. So move in one step towards the center. So what are the circles of marketing? How do we differentiate our business? Well, if we start at the core, the very center of your marketing effort, if you like, that is the nucleus of your marketing, and that is your product. And the product comes, and you're going to sort of extend that slightly to design and market. You've got to have the right product, correct offer, if you like, in the right market. And that is, in my opinion, the best piece of marketing. The best marketing is a brilliant product, service in the relevant marketplace. That is, if you like, the absolute cornerstone of your marketing. Because if you think about it, you can have the best product, but if nobody knows about it, nobody knows you exist, nobody knows about that service that you provide, nobody's going to turn up. But it is the best product, because once people start to be aware of it, you need a product that is worth talking about. It's going to be, whatever happens at your garage, people want to talk about it in a good way. Yeah. And the next level out is people. And the people are your customer service and experience. Yeah. And what you want to do, how that works for your marketing. So what I'll try and do is an example of what I mean by how you can use that part of the circles, the marketing circles, to start to think about your marketing. Is you start to share customers' experiences, your reviews. You start to make sure they're prominent in your marketing. When you're getting great reviews, what's your net promoter score if you have one of those? That's the sort of stuff that comes up at the people level, which is one out from the product. The next level out is the brand story, and this is basically your content, what it is you're putting out there. It's your method of communication, but it also includes your positioning. Where do you want to be in terms of the offer that you have, and your pricing? That all comes under the brand story. And the easy way to remember this is audience, message and medium. It's this common marketing spiel, if you like, but it's who you're speaking to, what's your message, and where are you putting it? How are you broadcasting it? What medium? What is it going to be? A Facebook ad? Is it going to be a Twitter post? Is it going to be a podcast? That sort of stuff. That's your brand story. One out from that is your community. These are your customers and prospects. Within your community, you should have your tribe. And your tribe are your raving fans. Okay? Now, I'll explain that in a bit more detail in a second, and I'll come back the other way, if you like, back down. So, Your community are your customers and your potential customers. Your tribe are your existing customers that are raving fans of your product or service. Yeah? These are the people who are going to give you the great reviews. These are the people who are going to increase your net promoter score. These are the people whose customers' experience you're going to share with everyone else. That's your tribe. And then one out from your community is the campaign. That's the campaign level. Now, campaign is where most of us are stuck. And Seth Godin suggests that the amateur marketer, or someone who doesn't know what they're doing, this is what they do. They're stuck at this outer circle, doing ads, social media posts, some sort of promotion, hoping it goes viral, hoping they create a bit of a buzz around the product. They might do a bit of video. It could be absolutely anything. But that's what they're doing. And it's not actually working that well for them. And I'll give you some facts and figures around why that is. So up until relatively recently, Facebook was a really good place to start doing your campaigns on social media. Of all the social media platforms, Facebook was a reasonable bet for a business, for a small business, to get hold of customers in the local area, people who are maybe friends of yourself, the poster, or friends of the people who've liked the business in the past. You could put a post out and you could expect to hit a reasonable proportion of the people who follow the business. Now that has dropped significantly over recent months to maybe just about a year, to about 2% of your followers will see a post that you put up on Facebook. What's the reason for that? Well, Facebook is a business and they want to make money out of you. So they want you to pay for an ad. Now, when you put an ad out and you have to target your audience, you need to know who that audience is. So immediately now, if you're spending money on an ad, you need to know who your community are. Now, your prospective customers and what we would call prospects are the people who share some of your beliefs, which is, it's a good target sector. It's a good part of the audience to try and attract into your business. People who are a bit like you. Remember, I always say it, birds of a feather flock together. These are people who share some of your beliefs. But your tribe share all of your beliefs. These are the people you really want to target. These are the people who are worth spending money advertising to. So if you think about it in this way, you want to try out stuff maybe in the free space and start to try and attract your community. But if you're trying to attract your tribe, you really want to be targeting them, and absolutely pinpoint targeting, which social media advertising allows you to do. Posting doesn't, but that's where it comes in. So you need to know who those people are. You need to know who your ideal customer is, and there's a training on that. There's a training for every one of these, or many of these, or there is training at every level of the circle, if you like, somewhere. Now, here's a cheat for you. If you want to shortcut to a tribe, start using your business to post in Facebook groups. So if you're looking for, I don't know what specialism you could be looking at, but let's say you're a Ford specialist, then infiltrate your social media groups that are around Ford. It doesn't have to be Facebook, but there are groups for everything. Post on Instagram in their group, saying what great results somebody had. And that's what it's about, knowing who that community is. And that's what, when you start to think about your brand story, your content, your communication, your position, your pricing, all of that can be, if you like, woven into the story that you're going to tell. Because remember, facts tell, but stories sell. Another training that I've done previously. Remember, the key thing is audience, message, and medium. Yeah? But we come back then to the people, which is the customer experience more than anything else. This is what we want to focus at here. Are you getting your reviews out there? Are your reviews prominent on your website, for example? Are you that garage that always has 5-star reviews? You want to tell everybody that stuff. That's a real neat and easy way to start to influence people, because that's what people do. People, when they're unsure what to do, they look to what everybody else is doing, and then they make a decision. This is why, things like TripAdvisor have been so successful. And it's the same kind of thing. Get your reviews out there. Get more and more reviews. It's really important. And it finishes with product. So once Seth Godin, who knows far more about this subject than me, always says, start moving in from the outside in if you're marketing and working. I have a slightly different approach. I believe you should start in the nucleus, in the center. Start with the product or the service that you provide. Then work on the customer experience, your pricing, and then your position. And then communicate that product, that experience, that whatever it is that you do, to the community that you believe is most relevant. And the campaign will take care of itself. In fact, you won't even have to work on it. There's a bit of training I've done. It's called the marketing brief. It's well worth looking into. It considers all of these things in a slightly different order, in a slightly different way, where you start to plan how you're going to do this. Remember, the marketing paradox is differentiation versus amplification. Have you got that balance right? Consider in your marketing, does your marketing differentiate your business? Do you do enough to stop people scrolling? Another chapter or another training topic from in the Garage Owners Network. Thanks for listening. Good night. Stay safe.